Good morning. All right, we're going to dive right in because I love what he says in this chapter. We're almost done with Atomic Habits. We're going to dive into a new book on Monday. If you're watching this today, it is Tuesday. We're going to dive into a new book soon. But as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? Welcome to the Keto Mom page. We are going through Atomic Habits. I'm going to be reading a book every single day for the rest of my life. I always do, so I thought I would share it with you. And if you choose to join me, awesome. If you choose to watch, awesome. But the hope is that you understand a couple things. First of all, the power of mindset. Second of all, there's no such thing as an overnight success. And I'm going to tell you something in this chapter. We're going through chapter 19. But I often think people look at people's stories, whether it's in business or finances or relationships or health, and they don't see the story that was behind it, right? They don't look at all of the work, or you forget. It's not like you intentionally go, oh, they got lucky, but sometimes it's easy to look at somebody's success and go, woe is me. How did they do that? They got lucky, right? And my hope is that if you went through this book, you saw the power of discipline and creating habits and systems over a period of time. It doesn't matter which avenue of life you're working on. It's all the same. It all requires work. It all requires systems and habits. It all requires effort and energy to get to where you want to go. So we're on chapter 19, and he says, how do you stay motivated in life and work? Super good, and I love what he says. So if you've been reading the book with us, you know that he shares stories. He gives you some science and data. He gives you a thought-provoking question, and it's really good. So we're on chapter 19. We've got one more chapter tomorrow, and then I'm going to give you some time to order this book. We're starting this on Monday, The Traveler's Gift. It's an incredible book about perspective. If you have the book, on Monday, I'm going to be covering chapters 1 through 3 because chapter 3 is where you get to the first thought-provoking question. So if you have it, your goal by Monday is to get to chapter 3.
And for those people who actually comment their takeaways, you should...
Why don't you come and say hi? All right, so my husband's going to say hi. We have a fun idea.
All
right.
I would say this. For those of you who go, order this book from Andy Andrews. Just go to his website, order it. I think every day you cover it, I think you should give away some fun gifts.
For those who
Probably
share their
Mom
perspective.
Fuel.
All right.
You should give away Mom Fuel
every
for
day.
Their key
every
takeaways.
Day. We're going to do that. Okay.
Yeah. You'll just randomly
starting
select.
on Monday, if you check in, you have the book, and then whoever shares their takeaways, we'll just grab a winner, and we'll send you some Mom Fuel. So that's what we're doing.
That's fun.
All right. It is so fun. I love that. He's always got great ideas. So here are a couple things. Where are you tuning in from? How is Atomic Habits going for you? Even if you're just tuning in, have you created systems? Have you put this into play? I want you to listen to this two concepts behind what he's talking about in this second to last chapter. So he talks about a story about a comedian, a young boy in the very beginning Steve Martin. It's the comedian Steve Martin. He basically told his story. And it took Steve Martin over a decade to get to where you see him today, right? He talks about how he had 10 years of learning, 4 years of spending time refining, and then 4 years of wild success. And how some people go, oh, that was overnight. You just don't usually put in the time to go look at what somebody else did over the course of years and years to get to where they are today. And even in your diet, even in your lifestyle, it's easy to watch somebody that you work with, a coworker or a mom or a friend or a sibling or somebody online and go, well, they just got lucky. They've got genetics. Oh, they've got more time. Like, it's easy to blame or shame or just justify watching somebody else, because if you don't have the success that you want, it's easy to go, well, that's not going to be me. Their circumstances are different. It's not. It's the work they put in. So he says, why is it that some people like Martin stick to those habits, whether practicing jokes, drawing cartoons, or playing a guitar, while most of us struggle to stay motivated? How do you design habits that pull us in rather than fade away? So in the first part of the chapter, he talks about making habits desirable and manageable, not too difficult, right? So he says, our brain works this way. The human brain loves a challenge, but only if it works within the optimal zone of difficulty. If you dive into something too quickly, maybe you're brand new here and you're diving into the keto diet, and you clear out your fridge and clear out your cupboards, and you're going to start working out, and you've never done any of these things, but you're going to dive full force and you don't really know what you're doing. That's probably a little bit outside of manageable difficulty. It's too difficult. But if you take your lifestyle one day at a time, one meal at a time, your goal is to go move your body for 20 minutes, you go for a walk, you're drinking more water, like right outside your comfort zone, but it's manageable, you're going to stick with it long term. So he talks about just our brain. He loves to throw in some science and some data. He says, when you're starting a new habit, it's important to keep the behaviors as easy as possible so that you can stick with it even when the conditions aren't perfect, right? Listen, I've been working out and getting up early for a long time. It doesn't mean that it's easy. It's simple. I can do it. I know what to do. I can easily slack off with my workouts, but I did the workout, right? It does take me extra effort to get to where I want to go, but it's manageable. I get up, I go do my workout, I follow the routine, I push myself a little bit, but I get it done, right? But here's what I want you to hear. How to stay focused when you get bored working on your goals. I need everybody to hear this part. This is the most important part. This is something that I hear from often. I'm bored of the keto food. I'm bored of working out. Oh, there's a fly around my head. I'm so sorry. I'm bored. I hate flies, by the way. I probably need a shower because I did just work out. Do any of you ever say that? I'm bored. I'm bored of the foods. I'm bored of the routine. Want, right? And sometimes I'm just like, do you want success or do you want to give into boredom? I mean, there is a part of like achieving something that you want, and guess what's going to come to you? Boredom. And I'm going to read to you what he says. So he talks about an athlete. He talks about a coach talking to his team, and this is what he says. The coach says, the factors, he says, sometimes there's genetics. Some people believe in luck. There's a part of talent, right? But he said this, at some point it comes down to who can handle the boredom of training every day, who can handle the boredom of eating the same foods every day and doing the same lifts over and over again is the one that will have success. The one that can handle the boredom. Is that you? For my husband and myself, for the first year of diving into this lifestyle, I made the most sane, basic, simple meals every day because that's what I knew would get him to where he wanted to go, right? And that's all I knew to cook. It wasn't trying all these fancy keto meals. It wasn't trying all these fancy keto desserts. There wasn't even keto snacks back then. Nothing was labeled keto. Back then it was still gluten-free when gluten-free was, it's gluten-free. But we ate the same thing over and over again because that's all I knew. And I didn't get bored. I was like, well, we're just going to have eggs. We're just going to have some meat and broccoli. That's what we did, right? And so he says, let's see. He says, whether it's business or sports or art, or you could say your diet, you hear people say things like, it all comes down to passion, or you have to really want it. As a result, many of us get depressed when we lose focus and motivation because we think that successful people have some bottomless, reserved passion. They have the motivation. I don't have the motivation like that person does. But this coach was saying that really successful people feel the same lack of motivation as everybody else. He says the difference is that they still find a way to show up despite feeling bored. Listen, I don't always want to get up and work out. I don't always want to cook at home. I don't always want to. Does that make sense? Like the ones that are going to be driven and reach the success they want are the ones that are okay with boredom and they keep going. Mastery requires practice, but the more you practice something, the more boring and routine it becomes. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. Man, this is so good. This book is so good. And I'm going to kill this fly as soon as I'm done. I just need to get my fly gun. Oh, my hope is this. You read the book, you put some things into play, put some quotes in your brain so that when you're going through your everyday life, you can go, don't mess up good for perfect. Listen, there's no overnight success. Guess what? Oh, it's okay to be bored. It's okay to eat the same meals. It's okay. Because I have bigger goals and dreams on the other side of boredom, right? How am I going to stay motivated? You might not be motivated one day. And you want to know who draws the line in the sand and who keeps going? The person that doesn't give in to boredom. Oh, I don't want to eat my sack lunch today. I'm going to go through the drive-thru. Oh, I'm bored of this video workout that I always do. I'm just going to skip it. It's not a big deal. I'm going to skip it. What does one day matter? How often can one day turn into the weekend and the month and the year of not getting back on track, right? Can you embrace boredom? Professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. The only way to become excellent is to be endlessly fascinated by doing the same things over and over again. You have to fall in love with boredom. I think this chapter is great. We've got one more chapter tomorrow. If it speaks to you, awesome. I think that if you read the Miracle Morning with us, and if you read the beginning of this book, 5% of people will stick with their habits. Everybody else just gives into mediocrity. And ultimately, nobody can make you do it. It's ultimately up to you. So are you going to give in? Are you going to be able to do it when you're not motivated? There's a point of you can't just always seek motivation. It has to come within you. And if you don't have the vision and the passion and you can't deal with the boredom, I think it's raining out. Squirrel. Then guess what? We're going to be chatting a lot over and over again. Every single month or every single year, every 6 months when you decide you got that little bit of I think I'm motivated today. The book is great. If you've not gone through it, I think you should go through it. Or just follow along here. So every morning, we've got one more day tomorrow, and then I'm just going to recap some highlights of the book until Monday. Then we're going to start this book starting on Monday. If you read it with us and you tune in and you share your biggest takeaway, we're going to be giving Mom Fuel away every single day. I already have chapters 1 through 3 because the first chapter set up the rest of the book. So it's an easy read. So try to get through chapters 3. So order the book, join in. I am really excited to talk to you about this book. It's a different type of book. It's about perspective, but it's going to change your life, I promise. So, all right, that's all I've got for you. I hope you have an incredible day. I'd love for you to press the share button below. If you're brand new, post new below, and I'd love to get to help you, meet you, help you on your goals. Otherwise, always message me. I will always answer your questions. Tune into the page for tips and recipes and tricks on the keto lifestyle. And that's all I've got for you. So I hope you have a good day. We'll talk to you soon.